Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord, trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored, hath loosed the fateful light. The music of the American Civil War was one of the most important components of the war. General Robert E. Lee said we cannot have an army without music. General Grant knew its importance, but he wasn't quite as eloquent. General Grant said, "I only know two tunes. One is Yankee Doodle, and the other one isn't." That was his depth. But these men woke up every morning to a bugle call. They marched and drilled the fife and drum corps. Every regiment had its own brass band, so there was music in the air all the time. And then, of course, the main way they entertained themselves in the evening was with more music. I also like to tell people that the great state of Ohio, who gave nearly 320,000 men to the Union cause, General Sherman, General Grant, General Rosecrans, Sheridan, Custer, the list goes on. And then, of course, he also gave my great-great-grandfather, who fought in the 73rd Ohio Volunteer Infantry all 4 years. I like to tell them all the good things came out of this great state of Ohio. And that's true about some of the music. The first song that I'd like to do for you today has a very important Ohio connection. It was written by a young man by the name of Benjamin Russell Hanby. Born 1833 in Rushville, Ohio, Hanby was the son of an abolitionist. His parents operated a house on the Underground Railroad. When Benjamin was 9 years old in 1842, a young runaway slave, 22-year-old Joe Selby, from the state of Kentucky, came to the Hanby house. He was seeking refuge. Now, Joe arrived at the Hanby house in the dead of winter, and he was quite ill. He told the Hanby house, or the Hanby family, his story of how he was engaged to his girlfriend. 2 weeks before their wedding date, she was sold at a slave auction at a plantation in Kentucky and taken to Georgia. Her name was Nellie Gray. Joe Selby died 2 days later at the Hanby house, and he is buried there in Rushville, Ohio. But this story made a very profound impact on a 9-year-old boy. Hanby attended Otterbein University. The entire family had moved to Westerville in the late 1840s. He graduated. He was a very accomplished musician and on his way to becoming a Methodist minister. Uncle Tom's Cabin, of course, was the biggest selling book of the time, and he never forgot the story of Joe and Nellie Gray. Nobody knows whatever happened to Nellie Gray, but this song would go on to become one of the most powerful anti-slavery tunes of the time and very popular with the Union Army. This is Darling Nellie Gray, written in 1856. There's a low green valley by the old Kentucky shore, where I've whiled many happy hours away, sitting and a-singing by that little cabin door where lived my darling Nellie Gray. Oh, my poor Nellie Gray, they have taken you away. I'll never see my darling anymore. I'm sitting by the river, weeping all the day, 'cause you're gone from the old Kentucky shore. One night I went to see her, she's gone, the neighbors say. The white man has wrapped her in his chains. They've taken her to Georgia to toil her life away as she works in the cotton and the cane. Oh, my poor Nellie Gray, they have taken you away. I'll never see my darling anymore. I'm sitting by the river, weeping all the day, 'cause you're gone from the old Kentucky shore. My eyes are growing blinder, I cannot see my way. Hark, someone is knocking at my door. I hear the angel calling, I see my Nellie Gray. Oh, farewell to the old Kentucky shore. Oh, my darling Nellie Gray, up in heaven we will stay. They'll never take you from me anymore. I'm coming, 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 as the angels clear the way. Oh, farewell to the old Kentucky shore. Yes, farewell to the old Kentucky shore. Now, of course, with Lincoln's election in 1860, South Carolina secedes from the Union, followed by 10 more states, creating the Confederate States of America. In February of 1861, they elect their own president, Jefferson Davis. This next song is played 5 times at Jefferson Davis's inaugural ball. Now, it's interesting that when Abraham Lincoln heard that they played Dixie 5 times for Davis, he said, well, the first thing those people did was start stealing our music. Because Dixie was written right here in the state of Ohio. It's one of those Yankee songs. You don't go down south and tell anybody that at a reenactment. I learned that the hard way. Now, by the end of the American Civil War, there were several different versions of Dixie. There was the Confederate version, very well written, very eloquent. Of course, the original minstrel show version. And there were several different Yankee versions. And the one I've learned is probably not one of the most kindest there are to sing. I'd like to do you a couple of verses the way Dan Emmett wrote it, and then I'll do you a verse the way the Union Army would have sung it probably about 1864, being in Union Blue and my heritage being the 73rd Ohio. Now, if there are any of you with Confederate heritage in the room, please don't take this to heart. I'll be doing a completely Confederate song later on in the program to make up for it. I don't know how many of you got your half-eaten donuts still sitting on your lap. I just don't want any incoming while I'm doing this tune. This is Dixie. Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Dixie's land where I was born early on a frosty morning. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. I wish I was in Dixie, away, away. In Dixie's land I'll take my stand to live or die in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Well, buckwheat cakes and Injun batter will make you fat or even fatter. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Well, hoe it down and scratch your gravel. To Dixie's land I'm bound to travel. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. I wish I was in Dixie, away, away. In Dixie's land I'll take my stand to live or die in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Now here's the Union version. Again, no incoming. Way down south in the land of traders, rattlesnakes and alligators. Come away, look away, come away, Dixieland. Where cotton's king and men are chattel, Union boys win the battles. Come away, look away, come away, Dixieland. We'll all go down to Dixie, away, away. The Dixie boys will understand they should mind their Uncle Sam. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Of course, as we go into the fall of 1862, Lincoln sacks McClellan, replaces him with Burnside. Burnside is defeated in the Battle of Fredericksburg. January 1st, 1863, Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation, and in February replaces Burnside with Major General Joe Hooker. Hooker says he'll take Richmond by that spring. He meets Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson May 2nd and 3rd, and the Battle of Chancellorsville is defeated. The South loses Stonewall Jackson in that battle. The month of June, Lee decides to invade Pennsylvania. Lee replaces Hooker with Meade on June 27th, and then of course on July 1st, Meade meets Lee at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. On the 4th of July, Vicksburg, Mississippi falls to Grant and Sherman, who've been laying siege to that city for 6 weeks. Now, by this time, the South was beginning to run out of a lot of important things, and mainly they were running out of food. We will go from the sad, broken heart of Lorena to absolutely one of the silliest songs I've ever learned to play in my entire life. The state of Georgia began shipping large bags of peanuts to the Confederate Army. You know where this is going to go. Down south, they don't call peanuts peanuts, they call them Excellent. We have a very active audience here today. Now, the first time I heard this song, when I was a teenager, I didn't listen to the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. I listened to Gene Autry and Burl Ives and kind of that sort of music. I never got into rock and roll. And this was on a Burl Ives album. This actually went to number 8 on the pop charts in 1952 for Burl Ives. People had to be starved for entertainment. But as a kid, I thought this was kind of a goofy song, and then when I got into the Civil War thing and started playing at some reenactments, everywhere I went, people would say, "Do you know Goober Peas?" And I'd say, "Why?" But everybody wanted to hear it. Now, I play at the State House's encampment just about every year, and a few years ago I was there. There's always some smart aleck that tells 2,000 kids as they get off the school bus, "Go find the old guy with the guitar and he'll teach you Goober Peas." So I did Goober Peas 66 times in a row. I could probably play it backward. So I'm going to teach you folks how to sing Goober Peas, and you're going to sing it and I'm going to play it. We're going to start off with the chorus. We'll do it a couple of times and then we'll do the whole song, okay? Now we're only going to do 3 verses. I don't want to do it any longer than I absolutely have to. But we'll do the whole song. So is everybody ready to sing? Okay. I'm going to expect to hear some harmony now. Here's the chorus to Goober Peas. Now I want to warn you, 8th graders get this about the 2nd time through. So this will take a little effort, okay? Here we go. Peas, 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 eating Goober Peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating Goober Peas. Okay, you gonna sing it this time? I feel like I'm standing up here by myself. Peas, 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 eating Goober Peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating Goober Peas. That's beautiful. Sitting by the roadside on a summer day, chatting with my messmates, passing time away. Lying in the shadows underneath the trees. Goodness, how delicious, eating Goober Peas. Peas, 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 eating Goober Peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating Goober Peas. Just before the battle, the general hears a row. He says the Yanks are coming, I hear their rifles now. He turns around in wonder, and what do you think he sees? The Georgia militia eating Goober Peas. Peas, 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 eating Goober Peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating Goober Peas. I think the song has lasted almost long enough. The rhyme is kinda silly and the words are mighty rough. I wish this war was over, free from rags and fleas. We kiss our wives and sweethearts and gobble Goober Peas. Peas, 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 eating Goober Peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating Goober Peas. Peas, 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 eating Goober Peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating Goober Peas. Of course, April 9th, 1865, Lee surrenders to Grant. Robert Lincoln, who was in the parlor of the McLean house, sends his father a telegram. As news of the telegram spreads through Washington, D.C. and Lee's surrender, a crowd gathers at the White House. Lincoln steps outside to say a few words and notices that the United States Marine Corps brass band is in the crowd. And he says, "Play Dixie, and we'll welcome the South back into the Union." From that statement, a lot of people think, gee, Dixie must be Uncle Abe's favorite song. Well, it wasn't. It was one of them, but it wasn't his favorite. His favorite was Home Sweet Home. Number 2 on his hit parade was a tune called The Battle Hymn of the Republic, written in the fall of 1862 by Julia Ward Howe and directly inspired by John Brown's body lies moldering in the grave. Now, there's a couple of stories, and I'll just tell you one quick one. She and a friend were walking through Washington. The Army of the Potomac is marching in camp singing John Brown's body, and her friend says, "Julia, that song is really disgusting. You could do a better job." And that's how we got the Battle Hymn. But the Battle Hymn of the Republic is probably one of the very most popular songs to come out of this period of time. And of course, another ironic twist to it is Julia Ward Howe's husband was one of the secret 6 that financed the John Brown raid on Harper's Ferry. So it kind of takes it full circle. I'm going to close this part of the program and take you right up to the noon hour, and then we're going to get some lunch. This is the Battle Hymn of the Republic. I'll do the first and the last verse, and I invite everyone to sing along. I know you can sing beautifully after hearing Goober Peas come up at me like that. Now, if you don't know the words, just make some up. Like, once again, I have to do that myself. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord, trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored, hath loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea. The glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. He died to make men holy. Let us fight to make men free, while God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. God bless America. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.